He goes, oh, well, like, I just like, I wanted to see you. I was like, no, you didn't. You just don't want to pay for Uber Eats. And so I'm done. I give up.
Honestly, you get what you deserve. You have two guys, two men, and you're trying to waste their time. You want to talk about reading the room when you can't even understand the book that you're reading right now. And that's have some common decency. You have the audacity to call somebody and say, can you come fix my stuff? No, I can't get out here. Here's a selfie to make sure that you understand that I am really where I say that I am. That's not enough. I'll call somebody else because I'm not only dedicating myself to you, I'm with somebody else. Because you see how she tried to gloss that over? Because you always got to have more than one. Well, I always got to have more than one too. More than one option. More time not to spend with you. So like I said, I won't be over there until I can get over there. You can sit there looking at a broken wall, or you can call the Geek Squad. It's your prerogative. But I'm not about to waste my time when you have somebody else on your phone, and not only do you not wait, you call them what seems like immediately or within the span of that day, 24 hours, and you expect me to be there for you? Nah, that's all right. Quid pro quo. You bring me something to eat, I come over and fix your stuff. Seems like a good deal. But these modern women today, women like this, want everything and want to reciprocate nothing. Good on you, both of my guys, for staying exactly where you are and letting this modern woman understand I have time to be spending with my friends and no time to be wasting on you. Modern women logic.
Some women have been single for so long they don't date anymore. They grant you access to their peaceful little empire like a reluctant queen handing you a visitor's badge. You text her good morning and she's already annoyed like why are you disturbing the sacred silence of my personal gross journey? You think you're gonna be her boyfriend? Bro, she's sleeping diagonally in her bed for 3 years. She's not giving up that territory because you opened the door and paid for a coffee. Her vibe is I love the idea of you, but your physical presence is kind of ruining my aesthetic. You plan a cute date, she's thinking that sounds nice, but also I could stay home, deep clean my apartment, do a 12-step skincare routine, order sushi, and not have to listen to a man breathe. Romantic surprises? Risky. You show up unannounced with flowers? Cool. She already scheduled her evening. 2-hour bubble bath, wine, rewatching Pride and Prejudice for emotional stability. You're not part of the itinerary, Jonathan. You try to check in emotionally. How are you feeling? She's feeling fantastic because you're not here. When she says, I need space, she doesn't mean I am upset. She means she wants to lay face down on her bed for 3 hours without explaining it to anyone. You're not competing with other guys. There are no other guys. You're competing with her weighted blanket, her peace, her cat named Chairman Meow, and the simple joy of not having to share her fries. And the second you cause even 0.0001% stress, gone, vanished. Back to her solo adventures and 87 unread therapy newsletters. Are you okay? Yes, she's thriving. She just booked a solo trip to Iceland while you were still composing your good morning beautiful text. Dating a girl who is used to being alone is not romance. It's extreme sport for your self-esteem.
Now, y'all know me, and y'all know I'm always going to call it how I see it, okay? And some of y'all probably going to call me a pick-me because I've been hearing this a lot lately. And I notice how we tend to point the finger at men versus women, but women, we are the problem too. We are the problem too. The only reason why I say that is because I have been on social media a lot lately and just hearing the things that men have to say, what women do. Y'all play mind games too. Y'all out here just, I think what gets me the most, like, at the end of the day, we grown. So if you choose to drop the draws on the first date, or you choose to throw yourself out there without even knowing a person to give it up, that's on you. That's on you. But you making it hard for women like me that's out here have standards and actually want something more than just. So I'm going to say we're the problem too. I'm not saying that men are not the problem, because they definitely are. Because if they wasn't the problem, I wouldn't be single. But we have to take a part of what we are doing as well, because we're not helping the situation out here. You can't be initiating conversations just to leave them on dry, Or you can't be out here asking for money and be like, that's all he want is some butt. Okay, but that's all you want is his money. Am I lying? Cause I mean, we gotta do better. Both parties need to do better. But I'm saying, as a woman, coming from a woman, we need to do better as a whole.
And you know, a lot of these guys, they see you. I mean, you can sit up here and ask, why are men ignoring me? Why don't men approach? But men actually do see you. They're not blind. But a lot of men don't want to sit up here and have to guess if you gonna want me to come over. I don't want to sit up here and guess if I'm gonna get in trouble, or you're gonna say something about me and trash me. And in some of these situations, modern women have gotten men kicked out of a gym, kicked out of a club, and all the man did was say, hey, what's going on? Oh, he's harassing me. How? I just said, hey, I even offered you a drink.
Passport Bro marries Kenyan woman, has a baby in Kenya, brings her to America. 12 months later, she's living with another man in Vegas. Passport Bros, y'all just keep taking L's. You wasted all your time, money, and resources just to get played. You could have got this Amazon Prime to your house with next day delivery for free without ever leaving your doorstep in America. You literally could have stayed here for this. Honestly, I don't even see what the difference is. And even more so, like Eddie Murphy told us 40 years ago on Raw that this is what happens. If you get a chick and you bring her to America, she gonna leave you. This is why I don't understand Passport Bro's logic. It's like, because do you really think that these women overseas don't want the wealthy men in their country? Do you think that the wealthy men in these other countries don't have access to the top-notch women? Or, like, I'm confused on what y'all be thinking. Because a woman is a woman no matter where she at, bruh. Women always want the best option that they can get. That's just how women are wired. It's not even a flaw. It's really just that's just the game. That's just how it is. So they're always trying to put their eggs in the best basket that they can find. So yeah, it makes sense. She got to America and she dipped to find the next best thing. And now you stuck, and you was out here talking about, oh, American women is trash and they this and that, and it's a woman all the way from the motherland that did you the same exact way. But y'all gonna learn. You gonna learn. Lame is a universal language, bro, that all women understand.
Former adult film actress Jasmine Cashmere, who filmed over 100 scenes, has turned her life around, and she accepted the Lord, is now married, and serves as a pastor. Check out the video.
Before you all, my husband Kevin in his absence, my children, my family, friends, close people to me that supported me in this journey, things called the
I am going to come to you guys from Acts 3:1 through 10. Yes, I love scripture, so. Alright. You want to stand for the reading of the word?
Yes, I know some religious people will come to her defense and say people can change. Absolutely, people can change. You just can't change the fact of what you did. She's on video gobbling up cocks and drinking gallons of liquid. You can't unsuck and unfuck all those. So the goofy man that decided to marry her is settling. Cause I'm pretty sure he knows exactly who she is. But his optionality is low, so he decided to settle for an ex-porn star. His SMV is very low for him to even consider taking something like that serious. I'll say this over and over again. 304's final form is being overly religious. This is why I don't buy that facade. It's all a cover-up. She's trying to sell purity. But I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure in the Bible it says women shouldn't be preaching. She's up on the altar as a pastor. And for anybody who thinks this is okay, see from this perspective. If a person you knew stole from you, and let's just say you let them in your house, you trusted them, and they stole $5,000 that you needed for your mortgage. And say you found out, they got arrested, and they served their time. Now, would you trust them again the same, even though they served their time and changed? Yeah, the answer is most likely no.
You know, a lot of these modern women want to continue to understand why men are not pursuing. Well, you know, when you guys say a lot of the stuff that you say, then it's not really worth the headache. Now, to be fair, there are some women out here that are actually good women. But, you know, then you start talking about, well, I'm not letting off of this and my standard is this. And it's okay to have a standard. But then, you know, a lot of this stuff, modern women are getting really crazy on. And a man is like, I don't even think I want to be around that. I don't even think that that's something that I would want to entertain or, you know, even go down that road. A lot of times they sum it up as the juice just isn't worth the squeeze.
I live alone, and living alone as a man is one of the most underappreciated things you can do for yourself. I know some of you are scared to be alone and you feel like you're lonely, but you need to learn how to be with yourself. I know that's easier said than done, but once you learn how to be with yourself on your own, you'll realize there's not a lot of people that are worthy your time. If you're not okay with yourself, you're gonna get yourself in situations with women that are not good. You're gonna get used, and you're gonna lose your finances, your mind, and your freedom. All kinds of stuff can happen, and it's not worth it. Modern Western women are just not worth it. I'm not saying they're all bad. There's good ones. Of course there's good ones. Not all women are bad, but majority of modern Western women are terrible and should be avoided. They're just users. They're only looking out for themselves. They don't care about you. It's what you can do for them, not what they can do for you. So you don't need to be with somebody like that. Just enjoy yourself like I am in my house. I don't have man cave here. My whole house is man cave. I do whatever I want. I invite whoever I want in here for as long as I want, and then they go home. So stay single, boys. Don't waste your time with unworthy women and enjoy life.
The alpha widow is the guy who made the most alpha impression upon that woman of all the lovers, all the people she's been intimate with for all of her life. You're the most alpha she's ever been with. She's going to be alpha widowed for anybody that comes after you. She's going to be pining for that guy for the rest of her life. This meme is funny. How she looks when you tell her to block the guy who quote unquote raped her, because it's true. That's why her quote unquote rapist is the alpha she is widowed from. It's an unflattering truth about female nature.
Rollo Tomassi sells to men something called the alpha widow. The idea is that once a woman sleeps with a dominant enough man or an alpha, she's ruined forever. She'll always think about that one guy, always secretly craving him, never able to fully desire you. It's one of his most popular ideas, but it's complete garbage. Here's why. Rollo uses pseudoscience based on evolutionary psychology to trick his audience. The real Evo Psych finding that he's borrowing from is called the Coolidge effect, which is the renewed interest in novel partners. However, it's mostly observed in men. Dietrich Klussmann studied couples and found something that kills the alpha widow myth. A woman's desire correlates with the emotional closeness of her current relationship. When the connection is strong, the desire holds. When it fades, desire fades with it. There is no biological mechanism where a high status ex damages her ability to bond with you now. It doesn't exist. He had to invent it to create more insecurity to sell his. He sells this idea because it hands an insecure man an excuse. It's easier to believe some past alpha ruined her than to do the actual work of building a connection. Your partner's desire is not held hostage by someone in her past. It's built by how you show up now.
And you see a lot of these modern women, God forbid a man would ask any questions about what she brings to the table. Even if they don't say, well, what do you bring to the table? But modern women, they don't mind getting their questions out. You come to a first date, y'all really don't even get to the first date, to be honest. But let's say you do actually get to the first date. You know, the first question, I'm barely sitting down. You ask me about what my firm size is. You're an entrepreneur? Well, what do you do for work? By the time the appetizers come, so how much is in your bank account? You know, she running this credit score by that time. So everything that he needs to tell you, or you want to know, he got to tell you off rip. We don't even need to get to dinner We don't even need to get to dinner, and I need to know what you got going on. But if I should ask you, okay, what is it that you do? Huh? If I should ask you, how do you contribute in relationships? What? If you can't see my value, then do I even need to be here? I mean, if that's the way you feel, I guess not.
A lot of women in my comments love to tell me how completely unbothered they are by the idea of living life without a man. I don't need a man, I'm happier single, I'd rather die alone. And you know what? You have every right to live that way. But every once in a while, somebody reaches a point where the confidence wears off.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't drink anything without feeling pain, true pain.
That was just a little appetizer for you guys. Hey waiter, can we get the full course meal, please?
I dated a very traditional Christian man who asked me at one point, how do you feel about after you graduated, we just immediately got married and you were a stay-at-home wife and you didn't have to work? I was honestly offended by that question because I was so passionate about this thing that I was getting a degree in that I was just so eager to enter the workforce and do this thing that I loved and get money for it. Fast forward to today, I've graduated, we broke up, I'm now working in the profession of the thing that I got a degree in, and I changed my mind. I changed my mind, I know.
Where is it? This is the part no one likes talking about. And you're free to make whatever choices you want, but some choices feel empowering when you're 25 because the consequences are still 10 years away. Maybe you really will be happier single forever, but maybe you won't. And fellas, that's why you need to think long term too. Don't build your life around what sounds fun today. Build it around something that you'll be proud of 10 years from now. Cause time has a funny way of separating what you actually believe from what you were just telling yourself to cope.
Okay, here we go. I shouldn't be surprised because this is the same culture that promotes and celebrates gang violence and drug money and degeneracy and having 18 different baby mamas. But what the hell are we doing, guys? This is like the fourth video like this that I've seen, and I'm so confused. Like, what are we celebrating? What did they accomplish? Black people, for some reason, tend to have this idea that they should be celebrated simply for existing. I mean, you see it when you go to like amusement parks and stuff, right? They all walk around with the matching t-shirts of like so-and-so's birthday or whatever, as if anybody aside from them gives a shit.
It's funny that you say that while going out of your way to worry about us. Ain't that interesting though? Cause the same shit that these racist motherfuckers do when you just minding your business. They want to figure out what you got going on, but then they'll speculate cause they have no fucking clue. They say we promote gang culture, but the whole time they the ones who start record labels to sign artists just to promote that shit, to prove they dumbass point. And it still don't work, right? Cause if you want to talk about gang members shooting each other, that's not as bad as people like you going to school to shoot your kids. And you ain't concerned with that, right? Because you racist people are fucking stupid. Like, y'all favorite president protected child predators instead of the kids, and this is what bothers you. It really be funny how these dumbass motherfuckers like running their mouth, but they got too much history of violence and danger to try to convince the world that's who we are. They can't help theyself. You hear me? These motherfuckers drop nuclear bombs on people. They in war right now. For what? But they like talking about gang violence, and every race got gangs. The prisons will tell you that. These type of people are just pathetic. They hate themselves. You hate your life, you're jealous of black people. That's a shame. Subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
Good guy content creators don't want you looking too closely at their silence. And if you ask them to talk about it, they'll just block you. And I've noticed a trend among them where they're focusing on the good men. They want you to focus on them too, because they want to separate themselves from the bad ones, which are the ones actively causing harm. But they believe that they're not a part of that group, that because they're not actively harming women, they're inherently good and deserve to be focused on, to be celebrated. But they're silent on the fact that their refusal to acknowledge patriarchal systems as harmful, not just to women, but to men too, is also their condoning it, their continued upholding of it. And I saw it when Dope Dad E here said, enough talk about the Dusties, let's celebrate the good men. But when I commented, well, let's be sure we're also talking about how the good men benefit from the abusive ones, he said, okay, so talk about it, and then blocked me. Or how this seemingly safe post about we're told dads are the problem, and no one wants to hear about men's problems. Or maybe it's not that men are the problem. Maybe too many boys just never had the right one to look up to. Is all posed in a way that is innocuous and vague enough to not outright say, stop condemning all men. There are good ones too, and I'm one of them. They want you. No, they need you to not point out their silence on the real issue at hand here, which is that they haven't done the real work to understand that the problem is men as a system and not as individuals. And that talking about how we need to raise up the good men and just understand that maybe they just didn't have a good man to look up to never actually forces men to be accountable for their active participation in the system that harms women and other men. It skirts their own accountability of actively contributing to upholding patriarchal beliefs and standards by trying to divert attention to the good men by refusing to talk about how the good ones are still complicit in the harm and abuse done to women and men by the bad ones.
A lot of these modern women are still waiting for a man to pursue them, like granddaddy used to do, or like they saw daddy pursue mom. Problem is, it seems to get lost in translation, and for a lot of couples it does, because as you get older in your relationship, you kind of forget some details. Now we have some of the women, they remember the details they want to remember, so they remember, oh, you're supposed to do this for me, and you said this and this, so they remember what you promised them, but they don't necessarily remember what they promised you. So all that aside, mama acted a certain way when dad came up and approached. When dad was pursuing, mama acted a certain way. So dad didn't, in a lot of these situations, dad might have not had to wait 8 months for mom to say, okay, well, I guess I'll give him a chance. I'll text him back. Right. And even in some of those situations where, now there are some situations where I wasn't interested in him. He just kept on bothering me. But even in those situations, wasn't nobody getting the police called on him and a whole bunch of other nonsense. So there was a lot of things that might have been different that they're not telling you, that and nowadays, men, y'all done told men on a whole campaign, no means no. So I'm not going to spend the next 8 months chasing you.
I am positive this woman is not alone. Y'all check this out.
When I was in college, I dated a very traditional Christian man who asked me at one point, how do you feel about after you graduated, we just immediately got married and you were a stay-at-home wife and you didn't have to work? I was honestly offended by that question because I was so passionate about this thing that I was getting a degree in that I was just so eager to enter the workforce and do this thing that I loved and get money for it. Fast forward to today, I've graduated, we broke up, I'm now working in the profession of the thing that I got a degree in, and I changed my mind. I changed my mind, I know. I don't want to do it anymore, I'm done.
That feminism struck again. I bet it's watching her video like, gotcha. And don't feel bad, because like I said earlier, just like Michael Jackson, you're not alone. Now, I'm not sure if this creator is serious or if she's just being funny, but I am sure there are a bunch of women out there who feel the exact same way. They were told and sold that feminism was the way to go and women can do anything a man can do, and a lot of them are sitting at a desk or they're working some job that they can't stand. Some of them are working 2 or 3 jobs because, let's just call it what it is, they were lied to. There is nothing wrong with the woman who just wants to work and do all that stuff, but feminism told every woman they should be like that, and that's just not the reality. A lot of women don't want to work like that. A lot of women would rather be home with the kids, taking care of that stuff. So I'm just going to chalk this one up to feminism, and unfortunately there are so many women who drink this Kool-Aid and they wish to God that they can go back 20, 30 years and do things differently. But unless you got a genie and a magic lamp, that ain't gonna happen. So good luck with that.
Everybody wanted to know where the good men are, but let me just explain to you what's stopping these good men from getting with you. This idea that a man should come along and take you as you are. He should accept you for who you are, how you feel, how you think, what you do, and he shouldn't question that. He should embrace it, right? That's what you want. But that man wasn't good enough to be with you, to get with you, until he did all the work. He had to become this amazing provider, which means he needed to put in extra work and effort towards his career, maybe his education. Maybe he had to really put in the work for a grind, whatever he was doing. But until he can provide a lavish lifestyle, you didn't think he was worth much of anything. You want to make sure that you have a man who's making solid, sound decisions. You want him to stay far away from all these girls in these streets where he can get somebody pregnant and have all these children out of wedlock, because you want to be the woman who comes along for this perfect man, right? But you don't want to do any work. Do you know why your grandmothers back in the day were able to get these men when they were young? That's because they spent their entire life being raised and taught how to be a good woman, how to make sound decisions, what men cared about. See, we frown upon that now. You call it misogynistic. But no matter what name you put on these things, it's not going to change that you can't control what a man is going to find attractive and what a man is going to pursue. You just can't. So you have two choices. Get on board and start putting in the work now, or be okay being single. The choice is always yours.
Why the f*** are you trusting anonymous on this T app? Do not believe everything you read on there. I did a little experiment in the Denver T app area, okay? So I posted a man that I met in Arizona like a while ago that there's no way anybody in Denver would have talked to him or seen him or anything. Like, he's never even been to Denver. Just to see if some would say something to stir up. Posted it and I was like, we've been on some dates, things have been going well, just trying to see if like anybody else has been talking to him or seeing him. Some bitch commented, said we went on a date not too long ago. Like, you're a liar. And then I commented back on it and I was like, you're lying, because I literally posted this guy who's not even from here. There's no way anybody would have gone on a date with him, so you're a liar. These straight up will just lie just to ruin some you have going on. And that's the other thing. Don't be posting your man, because these will come for him. I don't get why women trust other women just because they're women. Women are grimy as too. And I've even had some male friends that have had said about them that's out of pocket, like to the max. It's just not okay. So if you're gonna take anything from the T app, make sure you get receipts with it. Otherwise, don't believe anything these are saying. People love to be messy just to be messy. Oh, and the literally deleted her comment after I said that, so she knows she's lying. Losers, lame ass.
Ladies, do y'all not know women? That's my thing. Do y'all not know women? I know there's a lot of women who do. These be the same women who be like, they don't have no female friends because they understand how devious a lot of women are. The thing about women play in women's faces way more than men play in their faces, because when a man is in a woman's presence, she try to be aware. She's paying attention. A lot of women don't pay no attention to women.
I have a buddy, he's super successful, but he has no girlfriend. And I asked him, why don't you have a girlfriend? He said, responsibility without authority is slavery. The argument he made was, today's dating, you take on all the responsibility over her emotions, her finances, but you have no authority over her. You can't tell her what to do, you can't tell her where to go, you can't tell her how to dress, but you are liable for everything about her. It is the worst liability, is what he argued. And I thought that was profound. I thought that was a profound statement. Responsibility with no authority is slavery. And I started thinking about it. Slaves, they work. They have all the responsibility over work, but they don't get paid. They have no authority over their life, over what they do. Dating for a man nowadays, in the Americas, all the Americas, not just the United States. This is my friend in Colombia. Dating for a man, you are responsible for paying for everything. You're responsible for her emotions. But God forbid you have any authority over her, because she's an independent woman. She's independent except for the fact that you are responsible for everything about her, aside from whatever she wants to do. That's his argument. And I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? He's onto something. Responsibility without authority is slavery. Dating in the Western world for men is slavery. That's a pretty good argument. What do you think? Is he taking things too far? Is he being dramatic? I think he's got a point there. Because whenever I see people dating, I see the man, he's responsible for everything, but he has no authority over the relationship.
You have a lot of these modern women that, quite frankly, and this is why a lot of men are really, it'd be one thing if you were saying, I want to be selective with the people that I date, right? And you should be 100%. But some of these modern women, they get on the they don't have any, they're talking about wanting to be courted. And it's funny because they talk about that, but then they don't have any etiquette. Well, a man should do this. I believe a man should do that. Well, a man has gotten this, and this. But when you get on that date, you're ordering the most expensive thing. You're ordering, you go to a restaurant, you go to Chili's, it don't matter. You go to Chili's, you ordering the most expensive thing on the menu. Now, mind you, you go to Chili's, you're probably the most expensive thing on the menu is $30. You know, so you go to Chili's, you're probably getting off pretty easy. But the point is, you're going, that's your behavior. You're going for the most expensive thing. If I go into the store, I'm going for the most expensive thing. If I go into Coach, if I go into Louis V, I'm going for the most expensive thing. There's plenty of bags in the middle. There's plenty of options, clothing, shoes, sandals, whatever you want, perfume, name you, whatever you want. Right there in the middle to where you don't got to go all the way to the top and you can get something nice. I guarantee you, you're going to spend the bag. When you go into LV, you're going to spend the bag one way or another. One way or another. And there's some nice stuff in there. And instead of going for, oh, this is nice, let's do something that's budget conscious. Modern women do not have that same level of thinking, especially when it's not their money. Well, they have it when it's their money. But when it comes to a man, oh, well, he just expected to pay. And even if a woman would say, well, I don't want to run him dry, I really like this guy. She goes back into the group chat. The group chat is going to tell her because they don't have any etiquette either. That's what a man is supposed to do. I was looking at Sex and the City reruns. That is what he's supposed to do. Do that. Mind you, they're single. They're single. No hope. Getting pumped and dumped by Chad and Tyrone every single day. But this woman is trying to get in good with this man. And this is what they're telling her. And sometimes a woman can fix it because she'll go in there. A man will take her shopping and she'll be like, can I get this? And he'll be like, okay. And she's like, I don't know. I really don't want to take advantage of you. And somehow, some way, they have an honest conversation about what they want to be, who they want to be, and the type of couple that they want to grow into or morph into. And they get things fixed and straight. But that happens by communication, right? But once again, modern women have to get away from that bogus group of friends that they have, that bogus environment, those surroundings. I don't care if you come from lower class, middle class, or upper class. These modern women don't know how to act. They don't know how to conduct themselves. And you hanging out with them is going to get you, is going to land you in an environment of being single and lonely forevermore.